Cloning of gene-edited monkeys by somatic cell nuclear transfer. Yes, apparently there's many, many animals that it's all in our livestock as well. So the animals that they have cloned, we just thought it was a few here and there. No. List of animals that have been cloned. Batting, I don't know what that is. Black-footed ferret, brown rat, camel, carp, cat, domestic cattle, coyote, deer, dog, frog, fruit flies, goat, horse, house mouse, monkey, mule, pig, rabbit, sheep, water buffalo, and wolf. And really it's more, that's here there's many the monkeys now that have been cloned, and really it's not, it's just to serve the science. That's, I mean, the amount of beings on this planet, whether human or whatever else, that have a heartbeat, that breathe, that can feel pain, that has all had to suffer in the name of sick science is unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. And let me just tell you this. If I sometimes I get mad, because if I don't get mad, I'll start crying, because it's so cruel. And it just shows the level of wickedness. So I don't mean to always like come across as I'm mad in my videos. It's just sometimes I would rather that than get sad. I get sad when I'm not on camera, like, put it that way. I try not to do it on camera. So lost my place. Sorry about that. So in China, yeah, they gene-edited disease monkeys that were cloned in China. So kind of explains why Fauci was over in China, because this happened in Shanghai. You know, it's all that gain of function. Now I can't find my place. I wanted to read this about the... So unlike previous attempts to clone monkeys, the donated nuclei came from fetal cells, not embryonic cells. So for all of you women's rights that want to carry on about abortion, you might want to zip it right about now. The primates were born from 2 independent surrogate pregnancies at the Institute of Neuroscience of the Chinese Academy of Sciences in Shanghai. This was with their first 2. And this is them. Aren't they cute? They're just used. You know, clone, and then they can just... Man, I just don't... And there's actually people, so many scientists, that think all of this is okay, and they head up the CDC and the FDA, and, you know, I see them as all dangers to humanity. I really do. That's my opinion, of course. Here's some other animals that have been cloned. I showed you the monkey, and then this, what is this? Yeah, there's, so what's important is look down at the very bottom. Italian fertility specialist Servino, I can't see it because of the recording, but it basically says this scientist was warned by Italy to stop his practices or he would lose his right to practice altogether because of his plan to clone human beings. I'm sure they've done it. I said in my last 2 videos, the science does whatever they want. And the reason they're able to get away with it is because they're protected by the powerful elites at the top, the people that have the most money, the Soros families and other families, the World Economic Forum, and all the people that don't care about humanity. They're just sick. Along with all of our organizations that went along with these sick people, very sick people, which makes you question them. The ones at the top, I mean, that knew what they were going along with. So let's see. Yeah, they used CRISPR. People have heard of CRISPR. In January 2019, scientists in China reported the creation of 5 identical cloned gene-edited monkeys using the same cloning technique that was used with Zong and Hu. That was the 2 previous monkeys I just showed you. Using the same gene-editing CRISPR-Cas9 technique allegedly used by, I can't say his name, in creating the first ever gene-modified human babies. Yeah, so China apparently has created human babies. Commercial animal cloning. Cloning of animals for commercial purposes, currently including livestock, competition, camels, horses, pets, medical uses, of course, endangered and extinct animals, as was first demonstrated in Dolly in 1996. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has concluded that the food from cattle, swine, and goat clones is as safe to eat as food from any other cattle, swine, or goat. It has also noted that the main use of agricultural clones is to produce breeding stock, not food. Clones allow farmers to upgrade the overall quality of their herds by providing more copies of the best animals in the herd. These animals are then used for conventional breeding, and the sexually reproduced offspring become the food producing animals. Yeah, none of it seems like it's such a good idea. I don't know. It's like again, the science is playing God. And yet, again, don't have anything of value. They don't have anything of value to show for it. I guess farmers, if they use these modified cattle, then it probably helps them. And I don't know. I just seems like it's a bad idea, but what do I know? There was one other thing I wanted to get to. Here's the other page of this. I showed the top in my last video, and then those are the piglets I showed in my last video, and a cat. I'm not going to read all of them. It's just, some of the pictures they had. So it's the way that what they've used to transfer, like, over time. So now from embryonic cells to now fetal cells. So yeah, that would really help. You'd want abortion then, wouldn't you? Yeah. And you know what? I'd take any of the higher educated on and argue every single thing that they would want to say, no, this is necessary. How many beings with a heartbeat that breathe that you didn't create, how many of them has to suffer, including the human population, have to suffer for your science, for you to be happy? The very fact that the higher educated can't see how completely immoral they are is unbelievable to me. And this, I know this doesn't make any sense. It's just, this is a picture of, it's a diagram of ways to reprogram cells along with the development of humans. Yes, reprogram cells. Two commonly discussed types of human cloning are therapeutic cloning and reproductive cloning. Therapeutic cloning would involve cloning cells from a human for use in medicine and transplants. Oh, how ironic, because transplants, those have all of a sudden increased in the past few years. Yeah, especially since after 2020. How helpful for the hospitals with their bank accounts. It is an active area of research, but it is not in medical practice anywhere in the world as of 2023. Sure, it's not. Two common methods of therapeutic cloning that are being researched are somatic cell nuclear transfer and pluripotent stem cell induction. Reproductive cloning would involve making an entire cloned human instead of just specific cells or tissues, of course. So, yeah, there's just, and let me read this last part, because this, you wouldn't believe this, goes back, this was already being researched and talked about back in 1969. Yeah, it seems like there's something wrong with the science. That was when it was speculated in this one guy's book. His name is J.B.S. Haldane. This is a quote of his. It is extremely hopeful that some human cell lines can be grown on a medium of precisely known chemical compositions. Perhaps the first step will be the production of a clone from a single fertilized egg. Assuming that cloning is possible, I expect that most clones would be made from people aged at least 50, except for athletes and dancers who would be cloned younger. They would be made from people who were held at having excelled in socially acceptable norms. Disgusting.